And let's welcome Bayo Altebi, our newspaper reviewer. Bayo, it's good to see you today.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Kide. Good morning, Kide. Good morning, Kinsley.
Right, Bayo,
good
good
morning,
to see
Nigeria.
You had a pleasant weekend.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, so let's begin with the Nation newspaper. We'll take some of the headlines on the front page and then we'll go over to the Daily Trust. Above the nameplate of the Nation, 7 abducted in Zaria attack by bandits. Hospital hit. That's page 4. NCC made 150 billion naira spectrum revenue in 5 months. And then the photographs that you see there on the front page, of course, go with the headline, Police arrest 49 Yoruba Nation agitators with charms and guns. But there's a rider to that headline, no law against carrying charms. That's on page 7. And the lead story is about the constitutional amendment that is in the offing. It says, Senate panel okays cabinet formation within 30 days. Constitutional Review Committee proposes curtailing delayed formation of government by President and governors. Other highlights, President and governors to cede 10% posts to women and mandatory State of Nation address. Niger Delta stakeholders, PIB provisions not far-reaching. And this is an opinion by Bismarck Rewane. It says Naira devaluation will push petrol subsidy to 7.1 billion naira per day. That's according to Bismarck Rewane. NIFSAL guaranteed 266 billion naira bank loans in 5 years. Yola Disco agreement for July 12. Okay,
All right, let's turn to the Daily Trust newspaper. The Daily Trust newspaper, 10 killed, scores injured as truck crashes into Ibadan market. The story is on page 6. NNPC partners to earn $760 million from gas supply. It's on page 18. And on page 4, we have IPOB welcomes fair hearing opportunity for Kanu. Now, the lead story on Daily Trust, traffic robbers hunt commuters in Lagos and Kano with 4 riders, 871 suspects arrested in 6 months. US, India alert citizens. Victims recount ordeals. How my friend was robbed, stabbed to death. Now, below the photo story there, bandits raid Zaria Hospital, abduct babies and staff. Gunmen attack police station in Akwa Ibom. That's on page 6. We lost over 300 cows to Ogun village attacks. That's Mayor Tiala. On page 43. 1 killed, 4 injured as police repel bandits attack in Katsina. That's on page 7. But it does appear that bandits are really, I mean, up in their their tempo. Hospital raided.
Yes.
Babies.
They are winning some and we are losing some. Like the report you read now in Katsina, the bandits have been placed on back foot. It was success by the security agents against bandits. But unfortunately, in Zaria, there's a place that is called Sai in Zaria, where you have the tuberculosis and leprosy center. Bandits stormed the place. First, the bandits were in 2 groups. The first group were engaged by policemen at a police post near the leprosy center. The other group now went into the leprosy center and went to the staff quarters, abducted some of the staff and children, including a baby. You will recall that the Emir of Zaria had raised alarm that his emirate has come under persistent attack by criminal bandits of recent. Unfortunately, a similar incident also happened in Kaduna, where 3 children suffered serious injuries. In fact, 1 died from explosion. A man gave them a gift in a bobo drink container. The children didn't know what it is. We were playing with it, went into the compound of their grandmother, only for the thing to explode. One of the boys had his 2 arms severed and an injury to the eye. They were trying to rescue him and save him, but unfortunately, he died at Baraudiko Hospital. 2 of the other boys, one is in critical condition, the other one was the one who now explained that a man came and gave them something in the bobo drink. And the children, did not knowing what it was, they were playing with it and the thing exploded. Actually, the house is very close to a mosque. So apparently, the criminals are challenging the Kaduna state government that is adamant that it will not negotiate with bandits. And you see that persistently, there have been deliberate attempts to increase in criminality in Kaduna, especially Chukun local government area, Giwa local government area, and also Zaria Emirate. On the human interest side, President Muhammad Buhari has sent a get well message to the Catholic Pontiff, Pope Francis. The message called for prayers from all Nigerians as well as the global community for Pope Francis, who is scheduled for a colon surgery. President Buhari wishes Pope Francis a quick recovery. The president has also felicitated with President Joe Biden of the United States and the people of the United States over the 245 Independence Day celebration, which they mark on 4th of July. President Buhari noted with delight that President Biden has faced serious challenges and he's getting over them, including racism and especially coronavirus pandemic. President Buhari is keen in the progress in the strategic relationship and partnership between Nigeria and United States. And he's hoping that efforts will be on to improve the U.S.-Africa ties, which will go a long way to enhance democracy, rule of law, and also inclusive in governance. Meanwhile, Nigeria is moving closer to vaccine production, but it is not there yet. The Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration, Professor Moji Sola Adeyeye, says that the World Health Organization has set 240 parameters that must be attained before you will be allowed to manufacture vaccines on your own. Nigeria has satisfied 210. We have 30 of them to go. In 3 weeks, the World Health Organization personnel will be coming to be visiting Nigeria, but Nigeria is determined to meet the other 30 left so that we'll be able to manufacture vaccines required. On the issues of criminal and criminality, Lagos State Police Command has paraded 49 suspects arrested during what has been described as Yoruba Nation rally at Ojota in Lagos. The police command had kicked against the rally because the Commissioner of Police described it as unfavorable because the intelligence they were getting was not comfortable, and the Commissioner of Police, Hakim Odumusu, says that they cannot tolerate another upheaval at what happened during the NSAS. The police says categorically that throughout the period, no bullet was fired. A 14-year-old girl who was selling drinks, body was found. Some papers are reporting that he probably had been killed by a stray bullet, and the police say that they found a knife stab wound on the girl, and there was dry blood on her, which portends that her body was dumped where it was found. Meanwhile, the Lagos State government says it is going to investigate. The Attorney General of Lagos State says that they will investigate, and any information that is found will be made public, and anybody who is culpable will face the law. And in FCT, the Ministerial Committee on the City Sanitation, comprising the FCTA officials and all security agencies, demolished over 400 structures along the Umar Musaya Railway Expressway. This happened at Lugbe Across, Lugbe Beja, Car Wash, and Lugbe Zone 5. The team led by Ikaro Atta said that they had been there a week earlier and demolished, only to find out that they were rebuilding. And so they had to go back and sanitize the area. Some of the shanties are said to be hideouts for criminals.
Okay, back to the story of the arrest of the Yoruba Nation agitators with charms and guns, as we have the story on the front page of the Nation. There's a rider there which says no law against carrying charms. You get these reports from time to time by the law enforcement agents when they pick up criminals. They say they were arrested with arms and ammunition and then charms. It's a pertinent point here that there's apparently no law against being in possession of charms. I was just trying to, when I read the writer, and I was just trying to search my head is to see, I think that there were some colonial era provisions in the criminal code against juju and invocation of juju and other things. I mean, of course, trial by ordeal, those ones are criminal offenses. But say you are in possession of a charm. What is a charm? By the way, I mean, somebody gets cowrie shells and then has some animal skin, you string them together to to intimidate, and then you say that it is a charm. I mean, some persons have also. I'm sure you must have heard this fable from time to time that there are some persons who wear rings that if they assault you with a ring with a ring on their finger. That's by way of a slap or otherwise,
You will faint.
the person will faint and probably just disappear.
I think that what the police is doing is to report what they found. I'm not sure they're going to prosecute anybody for carrying charms. In the colonial era you mentioned, perhaps because of the Mau Mau incident in Kenya. Remember the Mau Mau incident in Kenya?
No, no. I mean, perhaps our criminal law did not derive from Kenya.
No. You didn't get my point. My point is this: that during the colonial era, if they had made any provision, against juju or something, that may have been born out of the fact that when the Mau Mau incident took place, somehow they didn't understand. They didn't understand it.
Well, if the charms were effective, the carrier of the charm and the charm would not have been arrested.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's go to this other story.
Why are you running away from this bio? I mean, it's people who say it's a charm. How do you define a charm? That's what I'm saying. I mean, why waste executive time seeking to identify? Look, is the charm, is it personal or is group? In other words, is the power of a charm transferable? If you take the charm, say by your possession of a charm, and you give it to Kirian, will the charm work on Kirian?
But not you.
Probably not me. I mean, you also have instances where people prepare so-called bulletproof charms, and then they test it first on a domestic animal, and then sometimes when they then go on operation, you see some of these armed robbers. When they go on operation, you see they say amulets and all kinds of things that they find around them. And, it is their dead bodies along with the amulets that you find.
I think it's until police prosecute somebody based on charm, then we'll now begin to know that that's just about it. But for now, they're just listing what they found, including guns, machetes.
I want to draw attention to 10 people are reported, and the report says scores injured when a truck crashed into a market at Ibadan.
What truck was that?
An LPG truck crashed into a market.
Yes.
Well, two things to draw attention to here. First, markets that are close to the highway is a danger waiting to happen. There is a market, very notorious market, between Omukpo and Ilorin. Several times there will be accidents, but people have refused to leave. There are several other markets like that on the highway. And these are dangers waiting to happen. But my concern here is that they say 10 killed and scores injured. That is the report in the newspaper. But the official of the Federal Road Safety Corps who was there said that unfortunately it was only 4 persons that died and 6 were injured. Now, whenever accidents happen, people tend to exaggerate. If you remember, during the 9/11 crisis, it was first initially that 10,000 people had died. But when the dust settled and everything, the investigation, it was found out that 3,000 persons actually died from the 9/11. So we need to be very careful when we are reporting figures in times of crisis.
Across the nation, many markets are along the highway. And not only the fact that they're along the highway, the traders tend to encroach in touch. They come close to the road itself,
yes.
To the tiled road itself. So if any, in any eventuality of, a brake failure or something, definitely some people will die in such markets. So it's across the nation, not just in Ibadan area. It's been happening, right? So I don't know. I thought that the local authorities,
do something about it.
But the local authorities, even in Abuja here, there are some markets. If you go to that's a typical example.
Yes.
You discover that people are doing the business on the road,
onto the express highway. Yes.
And when you ask of the local authorities who should be responsible for such markets, they will tell you that look, those people also pay money to local authorities. That's why they're allowed to stay close to the road.
This phenomenon has been with us for as long as I can remember. Markets are constructed along the highways in some villages. The traders would leave the market stores empty and then come and display their wares right on the hard shoulder. And that's where these incidents happen from time to time. I wondered in the past, what incentives are required to get our traders to stay in their stores and avoid encroaching on the highway. It's also part of our Nigerian attitude. I don't know where we are hurrying to. It is that thing that you see immediately that you want to pick. So every other person who is inside the store probably will end up being a loser, because those who have their wares right by the roadside are the ones who are making
the best deals.
Brisk business.
Yes.
Brisk business. So it's if you want to shop, you drive into a market, park properly, disembark from your vehicle, and then go and get your items. But when you are just saying, give me this one, now go at this one, now go at this one, then you encourage them. And then this type of incidents, again, they are fairly frequent. It's unfortunate. It's an LPG tanker. There was also another incident involving a fuel tanker I think that was in Ogun State over the weekend. So it's all these recurring incidents, but
there is this other road that was commissioned in Rivers, and it's very instructive. It is described as a unity road, a 43-kilometer road, and it is linking Ogoni, Andoni, Opobo, and is passing through Nkoro to Opobo. And the interesting thing about it is that it was started during the era of Peter Ordili. At that point in time, he was able to build only 2 bridges and 11 kilometers of the road. The road passes through swamp area. During the tenure of Rotimi Amechi, he also was able to go with the road as far as Kala Ibiama. And then the Wike administration now has completed it so that people going to Opobo now don't have to go by boat. They can now drive straight across Nkoro.
That's a good development.
And the sad thing is that because of political differences, these compatriots who are instrumental for developing that route ought to have converged to be part of the rejoicing of the people. But political differences are making politicians enemies of one another in the common service to their own people.
All right, editorial. State's ease of doing business survey. Bye.
State ease of doing business. Well, we all know that if we need to improve our economy, it has been a deliberate program which the federal government has pursued for ease of doing business. And it was initially chaired by the vice president, and Nigeria made tremendous effort by improving on the situation of ease of doing business. However, this survey is showing that at present, the situation is now getting downward. Those who came tops among the states are Gombe, Sokoto, and Jigawa. The bottom are Delta, Taraba, and Zamfara. And the factors that is pointed out from this editorial is that multiple taxes are killing states, and therefore something has to be done about that, especially if they are to encourage small, medium enterprises, as these are seen as the impetuses to contributing positively to gross domestic product. But one critical challenge that has been pointed out is electricity. They say electricity is still a challenge to ease of doing business.
Okay, Baya Toyobi, thanks a lot for being around. We'll see you again.